Good morning and welcome to the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. It is Tuesday, December 12th, about 10:09 a.m., and we are here this morning in docket numbers 2022-239-E and 2022-240-E. Let's take a roll call of commissioners. With us virtually, we have Commissioner Irvin, and Commissioner Justin Williams is online, it's my understanding, and Commissioner Hedden Thomas. Present in the hearing room, we have Vice Chair Powers, Commissioner Carol Lee Williams, Commissioner Caston, and Chair Belser. I'm going to ask our staff counsel, Mr. Stark, to read the docket, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair and other commissioners, we're here for the proceeding in docket numbers 2022-239-E and 2022-240-E. This matter concerns the application and initial pleadings of Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and Duke Energy Progress LLC, respectively, for determinations regarding balancing area competitive procurement of renewable energy framework and the 2022 solar procurement program. Madam Chair, this has been scheduled for hearing on Tuesday, December 12th, 2023 at 10 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Stark. Let's take appearances from the parties. Who's representing Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and Duke Energy Progress LLC?
Good morning, Chair Belser, Vice Chair Powers, Commissioners, Mr. Stark. I'm Sam Wellborn here on behalf of Duke Energy Carolinas and Duke Energy Progress. Joining me remotely are Jason Richardson and Brett Short, my co-counsel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wellborn. Who's representing Carolinas Clean Energy Business Association?
Chair Belser, Richard Witt, and also John Burns appears pro hoc vici for SECEPA.
Thank you. South Carolina Coastal Conservation League, Southern Alliance for Clean Energy, and Upstate Forever.
Good morning, Chair Belser. This is Emma Clancy appearing on behalf of CCL, SACE, and Upstate Forever.
Thank you. Office of Regulatory Staff.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Vice Chair Powers, members of the Commission. My name is Ben Muschin on behalf of ORS.
Thank you. Gentlemen, I think we had a letter from Duke at the end of last week, and there's a request in that, I believe.
That's right, Chair Belser. As the Commission is aware, we filed a comprehensive settlement agreement, I believe, Thursday afternoon of last week, and I won't speak for other parties, but generally thought that it would be helpful for the Commission to have an additional day to consider the comprehensive settlement agreement, and would propose that we sort of deconvene for today and reconvene tomorrow morning, if it pleases the Chair and the Commission.
Thank you. And the other parties agreed with recessing today and reconvening it in the morning, on Wednesday morning?
That's my understanding, Chair, but yeah, I'd be happy to give them an opportunity to speak for themselves.
On behalf of ORS, yes.
I think that was clear from the correspondence. We just needed to open the hearing at the noticed time in case there were any members of the public that wanted to tune in and see what was going on. Are there any preliminary matters that we need to address before we're going to grant the request to reconvene in the morning? I appreciate the extra time to review the settlement agreement and settlement testimony and other testimonies. Are there any preliminary matters that we can dispose of today?
Madam Chair, I think just a housekeeping I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is somebody remotely speaking? Okay, we just heard something, not sure what it was. Mr. Muschin?
So, Madam Chair, we just figured we would go ahead and introduce the settlement agreement into the record of the case. So I wanted to just give you a very brief overview of that. The settlement agreement that we filed last week is a comprehensive settlement agreement that resolves all the issues pending before the Commission in this docket.
Mr. Muschin, I'm going to ask if you can pull that microphone a little bit.
Oh.
I just want to make sure that people remotely can hear you.
That usually doesn't happen, but ooh,
That's a lot better, thank you.
I understand Duke may also want to speak on the settlement, but just briefly, the agreement is a product of good faith negotiations between the parties, and each party to the settlement has compromised from their positions as originally filed. which resulted in the document that was filed with the Commission on December 7th. Through the settlement agreement, the companies and ORS and the other parties agree on two main items. The first is the RFP framework proposed by the companies to develop and administer future CPRE programs is reasonable and complies with South Carolina Code 584120E2 and Commission Order Number 2022-482. And second, the 2022 post-RFP IE report adequately demonstrated the proposed RFP framework can result in a fair, transparent, open, and non-discriminatory competitive procurement process. The settlement also serves administrative and judicial economy by limiting the time and cost of a fully litigated proceeding. Madam Chair, Ms. Weed did note for us before the hearing started that there is one error in the settlement agreement. I wanted to call to the Commission's attention on page 3 of the settlement agreement under the listing of the testimony that the parties have stipulated to. The agreement references supplemental testimony of Mr. Glenn Snyder. Mr. Snyder did not file supplemental testimony in this proceeding. He only filed supplemental rebuttal testimony. So I don't think that affects the intent of the settlement agreement, but just wanted to note that for the record. And at this time, with that correction, ORS would move the settlement agreement into the record as the first hearing exhibit.
Any objection to entering the settlement agreement into the record? Hearing none, settlement agreement will be marked for identification as hearing exhibit number 1 and received into the evidence of the case. Mr. Welborn, do you have anything to add, or do you want to save that till tomorrow? I'll leave it to your pleasure.
I'll go ahead and speak to it, Chair Belzer, if that's all right
fine
with you. And I don't have really too much to add to what Mr. Mushton said, but I did want to express the company's appreciation for the Commission's nimbleness and flexibility. I know that we filed a motion, a pretty heavy-duty motion, and there's been a lot of testimony filed in this docket. We had every intention of fully litigating this, and we were moving forward with that understanding, and we filed the settlement agreement. The moment it was finalized, we got it into the Commission out of respect for the jobs that y'all have to do in terms of reviewing the record and preparing for the hearing. So just wanted again to express our appreciation for y'all's understanding and patience and flexibility, and accommodating the acceptance of the settlement agreement into the record. I just would like to hit on two things. I think that Mr. Mushton covered well in terms of the summary of the settlement agreement, but that the parties agreed that the CPRE framework developed by the companies with stakeholder input is reasonable and complies with South Carolina law. And then the second point is that the 2022 RFP itself is a reasonable step for the companies to take at this time towards procuring renewable generation. So again, appreciate your engagement and your review of the settlement agreement. We look forward to answering your questions as the hearing continues. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Welborn. Is there any other party that wishes to speak on the settlement at this time, or you can certainly wait until tomorrow? Hearing none, Mr. Welborn, we will grant the request to recess until tomorrow morning, and we will start at 9:30 in the morning. So look forward to hearing the testimony and the presentations tomorrow. So with that, we are in recess until 9:30 tomorrow, Wednesday, December 13th. Thank you.